Hello beautiful people, so welcome once again to the channel. This is the part 2 and this is the sewing part. So this is the dress on me, so let's get straight to this tutorial. So this is the sewing part. The first thing first, I have to start by cutting it on the chantity lace, so let me just say lace, and I'm going to be leaving allowance, half-inch allowance, joining allowance round before I cut. So after cutting, it's going to look like this. You cut two pieces each except the center one, which is number 1. Number 2 and 3, you'll be cutting two pieces, so you have something like this when you're done cutting. So you are going to be cutting 3, one for the doll face, one for the crepe, and the third one for the lace. So you're having 3. So the doll face, use it to line up the crepe because it will have like a bra cup inside. So that's why you're cutting 3 pieces: crepe, the chanty lace, and the doll face. So you are going to have 3 layers like so. So I've already joined the doll face is under the crepe, so that's why it's not showing. So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to first of all take it to the sewing machine to sew. So the center one, which is the number 1, I'll join it by the first part of the number 2 on both sides like so. Then I'll take it to the sewing machine and join half an inch. So I'll use half an inch, sorry, to sew it. See why I said should leave half an inch when you're sewing. So I'll do the same thing to the number 3. I'll join it to the number 2 on the left hand side like so. Then I'll use a pin to hold this. I'm just showing you an illustration before I take it to the sewing machine to join the number 1 and number 2 together. So I'm just going to join like so, then join the third one. So let me take it to the sewing machine to do that. So after sewing the number 1 panel, so the number 2 panels like this, the number 2 panel on each side to be looking like this. So I will join the number 3 to one side of the number 2, then the other side I'll join the number 3 to the other side of the number 2, just like this. The same thing I did to this, I'll do it to the lining, the crepe. Just the 3 of them will be the same exactly. So I'm just going to hold the number 3 to the number 2 like so, join it together. So the same thing you do to this lace, you do it to the crepe and the doll face. Remember, the material is very soft and light. That's why I'm using this method. There is another method you can use, which is to tack it on the crepe after sewing the crepe, but I'm not using that method. But that's another good method you can use. So after sewing everything, number 2 and number 3 and number 4 together, you can see how it's looking. So this is the doll face. So I'm just going to sew the doll face. If I sew the crepe, then I'll join it with the crepe together. So I'm going to take to the same machine and join all panels together. This for the doll face and the crepe. I'll join everything together. Then I can add my bra cup in between, because I'm adding a bra cup in between and it needs to be neat. Remember, the lace is very light. That's why we're using this method. So I'm just going to take it to the same machine like so and join these panels together. So after sewing the crepe, the doll face, you are going to have something like this. So you line the doll face on top of the you use the lining for the doll face. That's the doll face is the lining which you use to turn up the crepe after adding your bra cup. So I'm just going to be placing my bias like so and try to mark the point. Before doing that, I need to insert the bra cup inside. This is the bra cup, and I'm going to open up this seam allowance first. So I'm going to show you a little bit process of I'm going to open up the seam before adding my bra cup. Then I'll use the doll face to turn it over. So the bias will be having, sorry, the crepe will be having the boning point. The lining will have boning. So I'm going to be using this as an illustration. So let me just show you. This is the tailor's hem. I'm just going to use this little process to just show you how I'm going to open my seams up, because I remember somebody was asking me in the comment section that they don't know how to turn up seam. I should do a video on that. So I'm just going to join this as a tutorial just to show you in case you are watching this video. So this video is for you. So I'm just going to open up the seams like so. When you open up your seams, it gives your work a neat, it gives the fabric a neat look. So you just open up the seams. I've already done all that, so I'm just showing you I'm going to do the last one, which is what I'm showing in the video. So I'm just going to open it up like this before adding my bra cup in the middle. So the bra cup I'll be using this is where your what's it called, hemming gum comes in place. So I'm going to be using the hemming gum to hold it down before I'll use my doll face to turn it up. So I'm just going to fast this process. So this is the bias I'm going to use. You can use as many channels as you want. So I'm just going to be using 7 channels, which I've already planned to use. So I'm marking the lines first before I'll take it to the sewing machine and create my boning channel. So this is the crepe. I've already added the boning to it, and I need to add my bra cup. So I'm just going to show you guys a little bit of the process of how I'm going to insert the bra cup. So after inserting the bra cup, then I'm going to use my doll face to turn it up. So this is the hemming gum I'm going to use to hold this bra cup to the crepe. So I'm just going to place like 4 pieces of the hemming gum on it before placing my bra cup. Then I'll use iron, steam iron, the heat of the iron to hold it in place. This will hold the bra cup to the fabric, so it's going to look something like this before I'll turn it inside out. So I've already covered the crepe using the doll face. So I'm just going to place my chantley lace or the lace on top like so. Then I'll use this to turn it inside out, so it's going to be like a lining. So that means the crepe is going to be like a lining to the lace, and it's looking neat on the inside. So you won't notice that there's a bra cup inside and it has been turned up using the doll face. So I'm still going to use this lining to turn it up. So after turning it up, it's going to look like this. But I'm going to trim this rough edges I'm having. It's not looking V shape enough because of the this thing I added to it, allowance added to it. So I'm just going to like trim it out later. So next was called the down part. So remember I removed 16 inches from the down part. So I'm just going to remove that my 16 inches like so. So that white line you're seeing will be the starting point of the waistline. So I'm just going to mark to my hip point. So for my waist to my hip is 7.5. So I'm just going to mark it like so. So the skirt part is very short because the illusion wrapper is going to be covering it a little bit, so that's why it's looking to be short. But if you don't want it short, please increase it. My skirt length was 17 inches and it's very short, so make sure yours is longer. So you can use like 20 or 22 or 25, that's if you want it long, but mine is going to be short. So my skirt length was measuring 17 inches. So after removing your 16 inches, you can see the tape. I removed 16 inches, which was for the half length. So that point of the 16 inches will be the point I'll start to measure for my waist point. So now I'm just going to take the normal measurements from the waist to the hip, 7.5, from the waist to the full length, 17 inches. Mine was very short, so if you want it long, please increase it. So I'll take my round waist measurements. There's a video already on how to get your round waist measurements in the previous video. You can go back and watch it, or a picture. Then next is to take your round hip measurements. So you take your round hip, 42 divided by 4, then you add your sewing allowance to it. So I'm using my tape to do the division, so you can use your calculation, anyone that works for you. So your round your round waist, 30 divided by 4, you add 1 inch sewing allowance. The material is stretchy already, so there's no need to add that. You don't need that, it's a stretchy material. So I'm just going to place it like so. Then the next, I'll take my round hip, 42 divided by 4, then I'm just going to add 1 inch sewing allowance to that. So I'll mark that down. Then the next is for us to go to the end points. For the end points, this figure you have on the hip points, you're going to mark your exact hip measurements on the end points, which is 42 divided by 2. So there's no need for you adding any sewing allowance because you want it to be like a penciled, tight, sleek skirts. So I'm just going to cut this out. So after cutting it out, it's going to look like this. Then the next thing is to cut it on the lace. So this is the front part. It's a very fast and easy way. So I'm just going to place it on it like so and cut exactly what I have, as you can see. So I'll join the two together then turn it inside out. So after turning it inside out, I'll be having something like this. You can see how neat it's looking. So now I'm going to join it to the upper part of the, that's the 16 inches allowance, sorry, 16 inches already. So I'm going to trace this exact thing I have. When I'm tracing it, I'll follow the exact V shape that I wanted and trim out the excess. So next is for us to go to the back part. So this is the back part of the skirt. So remember I used 17 inches for the back part. I remember my half length was for the back was 14 inches. So I removed 40 inches, then measure the remaining to get the exact measurements of the front that we have for the skirt part. So I'll measure from my waist to my hip, sorry, from my waist to my hip, 7.5. The same thing I did to the front, I'll do it to the back. Then I'll take the full length. Then next is to take your round hip measurements, but before then go outward by 1 inches. This will be for the zip. The back of the skirt will have a zip. If you don't create a zip, you won't be able to wear it. Next is for you to take your round hip, your round waist measurements, divide by 4, then you add your sewing allowance. Then next you take your round hip measurement, divide by 4, add your sewing allowance. Then next you take this exact hip measurement so you can get that pencil shape like we did in the front. Then you cut this out. Now we are done cutting the back of the skirt. So I'm just going to cut it out like so, then cut it on the lace, exactly what we did to the front. You do the same thing to the back. So I'll place it on the lace like so, and then cut it out. So after cutting, we'll go to the upper part of the bodies. So this is the upper part. Don't be worried if you notice it's looking small. Remember, it doesn't have a yoke. We remove underlay. So this, I'm removing the eyelets, the fabric that will hold the eyelets. So I'm going to removing 2 inches, this is what I'll use to hold the eyelets. So I'll be cutting directly on the crepe, on the lace. So first thing first, this is the skirt part, so I need to join it together before going to the upper part. So I've joined that upper part together, so I'm going to place them like so. As you can see, I've removed the underlay, I've removed the parts I'll be using to hold the eyelets. So this is the paper for the underlay and this is the paper for the eyelets. So I'm just going to be cutting 2 pieces of this on fold, remember, and 2 pieces of this on fold. Then I'll slash the lace of the skirt open, then take it to the sewing machine to join together so I can fix my zip for the back skirt. So I'm just going to place it like so, then take it to the sewing machine, run a stitch. This is why you need to leave sewing allowance, because you'll be turning it inside out so you can have that neat finishing. So I'm done turning it inside out. Nice for us to add the zipper to it. First thing first, I need to like measure it first so I will know what I'm doing. So this is the underlay. At the end of the day, I ended up not using the underlay because there was no need. I wanted the back to be open, so I'm just going to remove the underlay. There was no point using the underlay. Then this is the eyelet holder, so I'll be using a crepe for this, so it will be strong enough to hold when I'm dragging it to fix the eyelets and the rope. So you need a stronger fabric. Remember, the lace is very light and soft, so that's why I removed 2 inches from that back part so I can use it to fix, to hold the eyelets. That will be strong enough. So now it's for us to cut it. So I'm going to be cutting on the crepe, so I'll fold it first, as you can see me doing. This is the fabric, the 2 inches I removed from the back part, the upper part of the back that will hold the eyelets. So I'm just going to leave half an inch sewing allowance. This half an inch sewing allowance is what I'm going to use to fold the upper part, because you are joining this into 2. So you leave half an inch here also that we use to fix in between the fabric. So after gumming the art stay to the crepe, I'll bring back all the parts together so I can know the exact points I'm going to fix the underlay and how I'm going to go about, because they have to be equal. So you're going to cut 2 pieces of the crepe like so, as you can see me doing. So I'm just going to place it on the floor so I will know the exact measurements before turning it like so, and sew the upper part by half an inch. I'll sew the upper part by half an inch, I'll sew the upper part by half an inch. First of all, Need to make sure that they match and they are equal. So I'm just going to trim out the excess and place it on top like so, before taking to the sewing machine and sew the upper side by 1/2 inch and sew the other upper side by 1/2 inch. So I'll trim this out, then take it to the sewing machine and run a stitch on the upper side before adding I'll be adding like 2 bonings to this back, this key holder part, or this eyelet holder part. I'll be adding 1/2 inch. So next is the boning we are going to be fixing in between like so. So it's going to be like an invisible boning. So I'm just going to open it up like you can see me doing in the video. After sewing the upper side and the downside by 1/2 inch, this is the eyelet holder, remember. So I'm going to be fixing 2 boning on the one side of the eyelet holder like so. Then I'll leave 1 inch allowance after fixing one side inside, before doing the same on the other side. So you're going to fix it inside like so, just as I'm doing in the video, then match it on it before doing the other side. But before then, you need to like cover the rough edges so it doesn't make it uncomfortable for the clients. So after sewing that, this is how it's going to look. So I'm just going to be fixing it in between the one side of the back and the other side of the back. But first I need to like fold it inside to have like a smooth neat edge before inserting the one side of it to the the eyelet holder, as you can see me doing in the video. So I'm just going to hold that together before joining it to the down part of the skirt and fixing my zip, just like that. So you're just going to turn it inside out like so, as you can see me doing. So nice for us to fix our eyelets. So to fix the eyelets, you're going to measure like 1 inches interval. So it depends on how wide or how close you want it to be, but I want mine to have 1 inch space interval. So I'm just going to mark it like so. I have a detailed tutorial on how to do this. In case I'm too fast here, you can click the link in the description box and watch that video of how to fix the back of a corset, or how to sew the back of a corset and fix eyelets and all. So I'll be using 5 pieces on the right hand side and 5 pieces on the left hand side, total 10. So to be having 5 eyelets for the right, 5 eyelets for the left. So I'll be using my soldering iron to open the hole. So you can use any other method that you know. So it's just so easy. You open it up, insert one side of the eyelet before using the cover to close it up. So you insert it like so, then place the smooth side of the eyelet cover will be facing up while the rough side will be facing down. Then you just press it, as easy as that. So I'm just going to show you one of these. So if you want to watch more of this, I'll leave the link in the description box. Go back and watch that video. So next is for us to get the drip. So it depends on how wide or how long or how full you want your drip to be. My drip, I want it to be very long because I want it to have like a flare on the ground. So I used 190 each. So 170 inches. 170 inches long. So that means 60 inches in length. I added like 30 or 40 more inches. So the width, I used 22. So if you want it full line, if you want it to have enough folds, you can use a width of 30 or 50 inches, depending on how you want it to be. If you are creating more drip, then you have to add more to the width. So you are going to place it like this. I also have a video of how to do this. So you place the drip in between the front parts. So the front part of the dress will be facing up while the drip will be on top, as you can see me doing in the video. So it depends on how you want it to be. If you want it to start from the waist point or up, or the upper part of the waist point, just follow the same step as you want. So I'm just going to hold it like this before placing the back on top. So you can drip it as you want. You can drip it to start from the waist point down to the end point, depending on how you want. Then you place your back on top. I have a detailed tutorial of this. It's just like a way of doing illusion wrapper. So it's the same thing. So you just follow the same process If you've watched that video, there's a link in the description box. Go watch that video so you can get a better understanding of these parts. That video is well detailed. So I'm just going to sew the side like so. So after sewing, I'll place it on the mannequin. So this is it on the mannequin. Then I'll just create different drip style. So there are different style you can follow. If you want it to be at the upper side of the waist, you can just stack it. Then I fixed my glitter stones on it. Just scatter it around because the fabric is very plain, so I just wanted it to have like a little glitter. So I'm just going to place it like so. So that's the most important thing. That's the end of this video, and this is it on the mannequin, and this is it on me. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and God bless you guys. So please like and subscribe to my channel, and see you guys in the next video. Thank you, God bless you. Bye.